All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're having a wonderful evening. The market went crazy today. Out of nowhere, we go down 1%. Everybody's going on stream. They're like, Josh, what's going on? Why are we down? Oh my gosh. Meanwhile, here at the cult, we were very calm. Yes, with the background. And my friends, you're very well prepared. So we're going to talk about it because the tantrum is indeed back. Oh, yes. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have a lot to go over. We're going to go over the bond auction. We're going to go over what happened, what is in store, and I'm going to explain it here. And then what we got for the rest of the week. But, oh my goodness, you're prepared. I hope you're ready for it, Chad. So get ready, and I hope you're ready for peace. Do you guys hear it? I hope. Maybe I got to turn it up a little bit. There you go. We got to get him a little more. But yes, Chadadonia, the peace is back. If you thought we were going to end the stream and not come back on the watch list, oh, you have no, oh my goodness. How are you? How are you? Good evening, Cheddar, Brian, Alien, Angelo. Me, not you. Do you guys like it? I have to give you the therapist voice. I can't even go crazy. What up, Jacobin? What up, Lost One? How you doing, Alyssa? Oh, Joey, Waleed, Habibi, Devin. We missed you, Devin. Oh, Mr. Young Cat. Mrs. Wilson, how are you? Lucky Soldier. Jai. Dos. Blaine. Deeb. Good evening. Good evening, Eliza, Christian, Joey B. Hey. Oh, good evening, Chadadonia. How are you doing, Devlin? Oh, what up, Pepe? Prabhu, Amir, Luigi, Jamal, Usha's in the house. Oh, you guys are still getting me hyped. I'm about to start yelling. I'm post leg day, so I'm not gonna lie. The peaceful ding house, but y'all getting me hyped this evening. What up, Twitch? How you doing, Green Shoots? Oh, Generous Greg, indeed. His name's Generous Greg. He just gave 5 memberships. That's very generous. I don't think he was lying. What up, Mooey? What up, Stock Sad Squatch? How you doing, Payday Devo? What up, Match? Blue 42. Spicy White Boy. Wow, what a name. Rocky Bow Blowout and Match. So, recap, people. You're going to have to bear with me for a little bit. But yeah, if you weren't on stream, all these noises may sound weird. The calmness may sound weird, but I assure you, it is very important for everything that we are going to be talking about today. So, let's not waste any time, okay? I got something for you. So, right off the bat, my friends, the bond auction today was not that bad, all right? All of you Twitter bots, all of these Woody dolls, I feel like we live in Toy Story financial land. If you pay them enough money, if it gets enough clicks, you pull the string, they'll all say the same thing. Do you know that? Because the headlines of the bond auction being bad and saying it's terrible and awful, all of that gets you a lot of clicks. But the reality, which I'm going to show you with evidence, it wasn't that bad. But I want you guys to understand it. What really went on was that it wasn't like the auction was terrible, but the bond yields on the long end were already getting blown out ahead of the auction. So it was one of the highest yields you've seen, and the yield was really bad, and that indicates a lack of demand, but it just confirmed that the yields were high before, and after the action, it highlighted that there was not any buyers willing to step in and take advantage of those high yields. Are you guys understanding? So I'll show you in a little bit, but I think this is very important because, again, when you look back, this wasn't like it was a terrible auction, but you've seen this before. I believe it was in December. Do you guys remember when we were like, or I think it was like last December, when we were freaking out about all of the bond auctions? And then remember the yields were really, really high. And then out of nowhere, the bond auctions would come in, but then the bond auctions would be really good. So that's what people were expecting, but that didn't happen today. So like I'm saying, the yields blew out ahead of the auction, but now when the yields were high, the buyers still didn't show up as much. So let me go to it. I'll go to the rest of the pretty pictures later, but this is your first chart. So this is exactly what I am trying to show you, that, you know, over the last like half a decade, these are the tails of a 20-year bond auction, right? A red one means that it was a bad bond auction, aka the rate was higher than the when issued. That's the tail that we talked about. Remember, we were just talking about this yesterday, and we were talking about Japan and the global yield. So that's the important thing, but this is what I want you guys to see. It's legitimately, this wasn't, you know, 2 bond auctions ago, it was generally the same performance on the 20-year. So you go back, remember when we were freaking out September, December? Those were actually 3 times as bad as what happened today. But are you guys understanding the difference? The difference today is that the yield was high coming into the auction, and even despite that, it still remained high. So like I'm telling you, this wasn't, this wasn't the worst auction ever. This wasn't an awful auction. It's not as if, you know, buyers didn't show up like Japan last night. That's what's sad, because I think a lot of people are being very dramatic about it. But yesterday in Japan, the buyers literally didn't show up. That's why it was a 1% tail, damn it. It was gigantic. You get what I'm saying? But today, I could argue more people showed up than they did at the end of the year. Just the part was, all of this drama and everything else, it blew out the bonds leading into it, and the bond auction just pretty much confirmed, yeah, you're going to be above 5%. So we're going to come back to this, but this was a big deal. And literally today, this is why I'm saying now the tantrum is back, and we'll talk about it, but there was nothing. You were actually doing good today. Google was actually holding up, and the NASDAQ wasn't doing bad. We even went green at one point. Equal weight was down, so market breadth wasn't that good. But then we had the bond auction. You danced around for 10 minutes, and then they dumped it. And I'm telling you, it got really big. We broke a couple of levels. You sold off 100 points from the high, but like I'm saying, it was a very small piece of information. We went back to ignoring bond auctions. Everybody had it. I genuinely think it wasn't that big of a deal. I just think it ties perfectly into everything we've been talking about. And again, what we were just talking about last night with all of the bond yields. So that being said, leading into key number 2, do you guys realize this was a tantrum? And I love it because I'm not changing my answer. This is what I told you guys earlier. You know, remember, when the market starts taking small events and making a big event out of it, I'm going to call that a tantrum. The market is trying to the market is trying to force something. So I do think this time it will be short-lived unless there is a black swan. So we'll talk about some of the levels, but I think it's very simple, man. If we're going to move beyond like a 5,400 and get back to the lows, then you need something to develop. Again, you need a black swan, trade to get worse, something of that nature, right? But here's the deal. What we talked about last night, this is the first part of it. So I'm going to show you, and like I was saying, I wouldn't be surprised if we hear about failed bond auctions. And like I told you, all of a sudden, we're talking about failed bond auctions we never have before. This came up the last time the bonds were at the rate, and we were worried. And then we had this Japan issue, and now I think a lot of people dramatize today because they're scared. So, and like I'm telling you, if the tail and the results weren't as bad as some of the other auctions, and now you're getting a big reaction, I'm calling this a tantrum. And let me put it into perspective for you. Moody's changed the credit rating of the United States. First time since 1917. The stock market moved bigger today. than the day after Moody's. Do you understand? So you mean to tell me a bond auction that falls right in the middle on the long end of the curve, which are usually low demand, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm showing you right here. This, I would argue you're a little bit above or at median in terms of performance. Definitely within one standard deviation, maybe two. So think about that. And then you move today, almost 2%. Again, some indexes, the Russell was down 2.9. So I think that highlights, we're kind of playing this game again, but like I'm saying here, it should be more short-lived. So now this is what we've been talking about. And this level, I think, again, 5,400 to 6,000 on the SPX. Like we were talking about last week, I think that you could go down. You just had an insane rally. So pulling back a little bit isn't a bad thing. But like I'm saying, some people think we're going to go right back down. No, I don't think you'll do that. And if you do that quickly, that means something drastic just changed. Are you guys understanding? Otherwise, you're probably just going to stay within the range until we either work our way in or out of this. And now the issue is, like I was telling you guys yesterday, all of a sudden with Japan, even this morning, the UK had bad inflation and they already cut rates. Their bonds started surging. Long story short, bro, I'm just telling you that everybody started with, oh, America's bad, America, oh, like it started with like this was Donald Trump's problem, and now it's becoming everybody's problem. The whole, when everyone's realizing, well, wait a minute, all the rates around the world are high. That's it. And again, we talked about it. I think today, the tantrum and reacting, like I've been telling you, the market wants, or at least these bond vigilantes, and I told you there's a group of people that would probably benefit off of higher yields and lower equities. I think they want a Liz Truss moment. I think they want to pressure bonds in the market so much that, especially at the time where they're announcing all of these bills, which are inflationary and massive deficit spending, I think that they, it all lines up more or less. And they want the bonds to blow out, so Donald Trump and the government has to backpedal. But like we talked about today, the funniest part about it is that now it's becoming everybody's problem. They want Donald Trump to have this Liz Truss moment, but if Japan yields go up, if everybody's yields now leads into this weird feedback loop, now it kind of just turned into America is the bull in the china shop. And again, you could even argue maybe Powell, maybe this is what he waited for. But either way, this is a new theme developing. And we talked about it yesterday. We've been talking about it. That's why I'm like, you guys are prepared. It was just wild how it played out today, because it was just a gigantic delayed reaction 10 minutes after the auction. And it wasn't that bad of an auction, but they definitely sold that story, and it was the only thing going on. One thing led to another, and here we are. So watch out for that. But now, oh wait, there's one more. Well, I think I will, we'll go to it in a little bit. I'll go to the pretty pictures after. But finally, dude, today, this voice in the background, bro, the sounds, oh, I love it, bro. I love it. I hope you enjoy this, and I hope you're relaxed, because I'm telling you, my beloved, you know that, for any of the lady chads, the chadettes, you guys are like, why you only say brother, my beloved, okay? How about my beloved? Control your emotions. Stop settling at extremes. Why is it I have to go all in, or it's a bear market, Great Depression? Stop settling at the extremes. Like, for real, all of this, bro. Look, can I be real with you? If you did not let the emotions throw you off in the last couple of days or weeks, this fits the same exact setup as a bear market rally. Does that make sense? So if you were like, nah, is it this though? It's not it. Oh, I missed it. I didn't. Oh, I got it by. Like if you didn't give in to the extremes, it's the same exact setup. Like literally, we've ran up a lot. Now we're automatic. Now we're chilling. Maybe volatility again, and we're still kind of in this setup. That's what I was saying, man. Don't settle at certainty. And I really think even today, there's going to be these moves, but I think most of you guys are prepared. A lot of these things we've talked about, from the tantrum to even, again, the bond lesson, very timely yesterday. You know, Bitcoin, you're already aware of it. You know, the sell, talked about, sell the rips and the back and forth with emerging markets. You know it all. So at this point, it's really the timing. It's timing and emotions and information, and you're going to play this game back and forth. So don't let it get the best of you, and that's why, too, long term. So on that note, as the Chad goes crazy over crypto, remember how many zeros I put on the watch list with crypto. Let us get into the plays, my friend. Let us get into the plays. So before I do that, I have pretty pictures. Oh, Bitcoin. You guys made it seem like it was like really going crazy. That was disappointing. Thank God I have this peaceful music. So, where should I start? Well, bond yields, actually. So, this is Japan 20-year. Literally, it was the highest yield in 25 years. So, again, as our yields went up, the United Kingdom yields went up. Almost everybody's yields went up, and some did it more than others. Like I'm saying, it's not like everybody was just looking at us laughing. But once again, we're all on the same boat. So that's the first part, but now are you ready for this? This is like perfect, bro. This is like a perfect setup when you look at how it's all played out. And like I'm saying, you guys will be prepared for this. You can't make this up. Are you ready? Do you know what this chart is? I find it fascinatingly humorous. This is the global uncertainty. You guys remember that? The trade policy uncertainty index? Well, guess what? You see this one? The one going up? That's equity and bond uncertainty. I love it. It's hilarious because do you see what's going on? So now as you're getting over the manufactured fear of trade uncertainty, and global uncertainty will never probably reach that high, as that starts to plummet, now all of a sudden bond uncertainty is rising. And now this global yield and now above 5%. And I told you this from the beginning of the year. Again, anytime the TLT, we talked about this level, because now the 10-year is probably going to go to, it's just going to start moving a quarter point at a time. But yeah, so that's going to be the developing thing to keep your eyes out for. That's the thing. I think it's going to be short-lived tantrum-wise, but you're you're at the beginning of the narrative. Like literally, we're talking about it yesterday. They got the auction, so think about it. This is what we're starting to move into. So I hope that helps. But there's that one. I showed you the first three, and now, I mean, just more. There was good news on the deficit or the bill. No news on the deficit, but they were saying they're going to pass a bill. They're still negotiating, but once again, it's just, dude, that's going to be the inflation. If you guys are concerned, it's not going to be tariffs. I promise you. But if every way we're looking at it, man, any way you cut it, there's going to be a lot of spending. And again, it's going to go differently, different winners and losers, but this is a little bit of a more fair look. And this actually comes from Deutsche Bank and the Wharton School of Business, believe it or not. So this is I showed you guys these projections. This is if you get no TCJA extension. Then if you do border defense, it's factoring in stuff, right? And like I showed you guys yesterday, the path we're on is just like unreal. You guys remember this chart? And I was showing you, but remember, Moody's is saying we're going to be at a 9% deficit to GDP, right? So that's very bad. That's why Moody's downgraded you. And remember how they're like the CBO is saying it's going to be 7, and then Donald Trump invests it, and everyone's like, no, they're scoring it improperly, right? So long story short, I'm not going to get into the technicals of it, but this is the model if you did score it a little bit more effectively. So now take this shit with the deficit, and then if you gave it like pretty much slash off 100 to be more reasonable, and then factor in tariff revenue and other things, you're pretty much going to be, I think it comes down to 5.9. So the models, it's kind of crazy because people are starting to model out how much we will make off of tariffs. But long story short, this is kind of a realistic number. But again, once you're still talking 6% almost every 4 years. Yeah, it's still not great. And it actually kind of sucks, man, because there's just it's the government, bro. And the deals that they have, because, dude, there's stuff that Donald Trump is putting in this bill that won't even take place until 2028. And then there's like money and like stuff that goes into because I'm like, dude, how can you guys not spend money? You know what I'm like? How can you guys not? But there's still Biden money going out the door until 25, 26. It's kind of crazy. So there's a lot of different things, but the point is, this is just a fairer look, but I still stand by what I've been telling you from a couple weeks ago. And again, this whole bond fiasco, this is what everyone's reacting to now. It's just like, it's high no matter what. And yeah, they are like, and here's the good part though. It's like, I still think Donald Trump is spending money no matter what. And even though they did save money, and I do think they did actually and will cut down on waste and fraud, it doesn't really like, there's one thing you got to realize, and this is it actually. It's all this tax cut, bro. So the tax cut is like $3 trillion or more over like a couple of years. It's actually insane. So pretty much Donald Trump and everybody, they're fighting for this tax cut to make it permanent, but that has like the biggest cost. So do you see the catch-22? He's saving money in other places. Yeah, they're still not spending other money here and there. But this tax cut he wants beyond all the other taxes, it's really expensive. So the tax cut alone, the TCJA, it's massive. So you might like it because it'll benefit you as an American, you know what I'm saying? And that's the good part, but otherwise, that right there it's a shit ton of money. So, yeah, we'll see. But that was the other pretty picture. And then, where are we? Oh, here's a good chart. You already know this one, but literally anytime the 30-year goes above 5%, it climbs towards 5, it freaks out. Same thing like the 10-year. So this is the 30-year and this is the VIX. So again, anytime we've watched yields, like, do you guys know what the funniest part is? Do you realize that bond yields now? I don't think you guys, this is going to blow your mind. Are you ready? Yeah. So it's almost there on TLT. But do you realize you're at the 2023 low? I think the 30-year is already there. taking money from citizens is considered less spending. That's hilarious. Yeah, because they already committed the money that they don't have to fucking windmills and shit. So yeah, you're like, yeah, exactly. So isn't that crazy though? Bro, you're at 2023, the yields. You guys don't remember 2023? You don't remember that crazy bottom and everything, and then, oh man, beautiful. So yeah, but literally anytime the bonds start breaching this higher level, the VIX eventually follows along. Not all the time, so like it'll take a little bit, and it could even lag for like a month, but usually if the bonds keep going up, this is creating a little opportunity that might hit eventually. So watch out for that. And then this is the other bad part about today. This is kind of that feedback loop, because as everybody was selling off during the bond auction, it didn't really make sense. But then it did. People were panicking, then the bond yields, and then Japan. And it's just like we said, if one yields start to change, if Moody's downgrades the best, how does it re-rate everything? Again, as these values change, there's a lot of feedback loops. One value changes, it changes the next investment, and then that value. And if that swings too much, it changes the next one. Then it makes the other one more opportunistic, or what's the word I'm looking for? Has more potential. I don't know, but either way, I think you're getting it. But now here's a chart that I've showed you before: 10-year versus the dollar. Remember, I was telling you this before. This is the bad part. It was cool when the bonds and dollar were moving, but remember, we're doing this game again. So now you have high yields in a weaker dollar. Do you see how this starts to play out a little weird? So that's not good if that keeps pulling apart. So we'll see where that takes us. And then, are you ready for this one? Here's just a funny chart, because this is a record high. And this is new. And this is why, like I told you, at this point, you guys, when it comes to gold, we answered Homeboy's question yesterday, but yeah, gold is no longer like stability. Like, people are buying gold for another reason. So are you ready for this? This, my friends, is the gold to TLT chart. There is a ratio, and it is fascinating. It's the highest it's ever been in history. So do you get what that's saying? This is the price of gold relative to bond yields. Long end, so long duration. So long duration worthless paper versus your desk paperweight made of gold. Very interesting. But it just highlighting again, this is why I'm telling you guys though, the fucking deficit, the spending, I genuinely believe that will be more important for all of our wealth or not than anything else. And there's definitely something, because literally this dynamic didn't happen till they pumped all the money, bro. This didn't look like this till 2021, and then it took 1 year. Took 1 year of all that money to fuck up bonds and then rip up gold as everyone gets worse, and then it's been history since then. So keep this in mind, as we start moving forward with it. But like I'm saying, deficit spending, how people are viewing, again, governments and yields and all. It's funny how all of a sudden everybody has become so attuned to these budgets, because they knew, again, remember, everybody was smashing home budgets right before Donald Trump took office. That's why it's hilarious, because 5 months later now, everybody's acting like they want, oh my gosh, the deficit, oh, rates, global. Just remember, like, even Germany, they're like 500 billion. We haven't spent money since the fall of the Berlin Wall. Let's do it now. Oh yeah, there's money, get it out the door. EPA, send it. So, yeah, we'll see. But that being said now, let us get into the plays. So yeah, that's all your pretty pictures. But play number 1, my friends. Fannie Mae. I don't know if you heard this. After the bell, Trump was talking, and he said he is considering making them public, so they would sell it off to the market and no longer conservativeship. So this would be wild. It might actually work too. Like I'm saying, this might even maybe this funds the whole housing agency. That's a whole nother topic. But either way, this was interesting. So it's a small flip one. This play has been around for a while. It's easy to get trapped. I definitely think it's speculative. So if you're not looking for a gamble, I would stay away from it. But if you are, this might be something with some headlines coming up. So watch out for that. But that is play number 1. Then play number 2, Core Weave. Dude, crazy. It did it again. So I missed the play on it today. I was going to take another play. And I was like, you know what? I saw something and I was going to wait. And then it bounced. And then it went crazy. Then it hit 108. And everybody went nuts. Should I put it in my long term? Should I put it in my 401k? Where were you last week, brother? $60 last week. But anyways. Yeah, Core Weave. There's a Frogger in there, bro. It's a lot of money. A lot of hype. A lot of options. So pretty much Thursday or Friday, bro. Just be on the lookout. What I mean is essentially the stock is going to stay up. Then the premium is going to die. So even as the stock is going up, or even as the stock is still holding up, one by one, those out of the money premiums, they're going to die. So the goal is maximize the decay and buy it while the stock is going up. And then that way we could go and get another hit. So I'm not going to force it though. So like I'm saying, wait, it's going to be hard to tell, but you got to have your patience to FOMO ratio perfect. Because you got to sit there, you got to wait. And when it's all said and done, if I miss it, I'm cool with that. That's what I'm saying. Like literally, even today, I saw it. I could have done it. Would have worked. It didn't. Who cares? We don't have to chase it. I mean, we hit it 8 other times, and then vice versa. Just wait. And if you're patient enough and let that opportunity, again, rising stock, holding stock price high with premiums dying, that is what you want to be looking for. So watch out for that. That's play number 2. And then finally, I don't know if you guys have heard about this stock. It's kind of crazy. I've never heard about it till recently. Have you guys heard of UNH? United Healthcare? It has 400,000 employees. Yeah. I just heard about it. People just started telling me about it, and they're like, should I buy it? I said, oh, what? Interesting. So, yeah. Unfortunately, you guys, this is my problem because, UNH is a good company, and it sucks that a lot of Chads were so annoying because I don't want you to have the impression that I think it's a terrible name, because it's not. They're just going through something. And like I'm saying, when you look at the fundamentals, it's literally, that's the cheapest healthcare company, price to earnings that you could buy now. But I'm telling you, I had to react how I reacted because a lot of people were insisting on telling people to run straight into a burning building. You understand? Because this is what I was trying. It wasn't going to be as easy. A lot of people thought it was just going to, again, too many people very immaturely in the way they were pumping it. And they were like, yeah, they thought it was going to be this 50% down, 50% up. No. And like I said, you have to be aware of it and what's going on and why people would kind of wait on this. Like I'm saying, high risk, high reward. So don't let the drama, don't let the noise fool you. Like I'm saying, do your research. You'll see where UNH stands. It's a lot of fucking money, bro. They make a lot. It's it's the biggest healthcare company in America. It's just more updates. And that's why today it's 1 week. They're saying the CEO's buying. today after the bell, there's another update on the investigation. Wall Street Journal puts out another one about more fraud. And then the Medicare CMS expands their audit stuff. So that's what's going to happen. You're going to hear stuff. And literally every single thing back and forth, it's just going to make it swing back and forth because it's vulnerable. And, I was even showing, here it is. I was showing this today. I think I saved it. Yeah. So look. This is UNH, bro. This is the top healthcare companies in America. Like I've told you guys, the biotech and healthcare industry, some of the cheapest right now. So I was doing my research, and here are all of them. Like I'm telling you, bro, it's literally the biggest. Nobody does sales like UNH. Nobody has employees like UNH. But the only problem is this risk. So that's the issue, is that if there is fraud, if they go back and have to claw back numbers, then it's going to be a very messy situation. If it's not as bad, or it's not bad at all, you're fine. And then literally you're buying the best healthcare company at a discount. That's the current issue right now. That's what you need to understand. And yeah, I wouldn't part with your money too quick. And that's what I think a lot of people were doing in the beginning. So you watch it and do your thing, but it's going to take some time. And like I'm saying now, the back and forth. So I'm putting it up on the plays because I'm watching it. And then I like flipping it. I didn't flip it today. I was looking for it, but the times we've made these moves, this environment of back and forth, good news, bad news, good news, bad news, that's good until it finally dies down. So I'll be flipping to my heart's content. Other than that, I'll watch it, but it's still, you got to be aware of the drama, be aware of the uncertainty, and yeah, good luck. So other than that, that is all I have for you, Chattadonia. That is all I have. Thank you. Thank you. That is your watch list. If you have any questions, you may proceed with them now. And thank you for watching. Thank you. Thank you. The Liz Truss moment. So what are you not understanding? But I encourage, maybe go find it from someone else, maybe. Because I don't know. It's an advanced concept with what I'm talking about. And if I go back, I don't want to confuse. So unfortunately, I think you should ask ChatGPT. Oh yeah, that was the runner. Look, I forgot, bro. We killed a fucking play today. I made Google plays, you know that? That's all I did today. I had one bad $5 Peloton loss. And then I got Google, made 200% on Google. So that was nice. And then at the end, dude, we were just chilling after hours, bro. Just talking, going over. And then we see NVIDIA chooses this company for a partnership. Bro, we were early as fuck. I was getting orders denied at $3. And then I went to TD, and then I got filled in the higher, right around 3. And then, yeah, it went up 200%. We got free shares, and yeah, that was a hit, bro. How do you know so much? Oh, you'll give it a couple of years. You'll know just as much. You'll know a lot. Yeah, it was beautiful. I forgot about that, but yeah, IBIT's killer, dude. IBIT is on fire. I'm mad, man. I love MSTR for the hype gains, but nah, bro. Yeah, those IBITs actually worked. I was skeptical. I did it because I was I knew Bitcoin, crypto, but I didn't know they were going to work that well. But the IBIT was very good. So we talked about that yesterday. That would have helped you today because they were even lower, and then MSTR gets washed. Premiums get washed again, and then boom, IBIT held up, was low, and then it just slowly went up. Oh, Target? Well, Theirs was really bad earnings, but the play didn't move. But then it came back down. So the way the premiums held up, I think there's still another one, but we will see. I put out stream alerts. Yeah, you should have got the Google. Have I been turning my wins into trophies? I have. I've purchased a couple of homes. Yes. So all my beginning of the year trophies. I was gonna, so again, I might buy you guys a house, but you guys said no. I was working on that. That's why I was late today. But we have another property, but it could be a cult compound. Well, that's a different topic. But Chad said don't do it, so we're gonna see. I'm gonna see what they say. But yeah, 100%. You should too. You want me to be your neighbor? The best way to do that, it legitimately, is to buy me a house. So until then, though, I can't. But So yeah, anything else? Like a good neighbor, long term is there. The CEPs, I think they're all scams. They're just gonna monetize all of the hype. Still watch, baby. Let's go, man. I think, didn't you tell me this the other day, bro? I think I missed it at the last second, bro. Amen. Amen, bro. In that long term, I hope that in the long term should be there for every moment. But please, all of you, do it. Like I'm saying, it's for you and property, and no matter what happens here, we'll find out. I mean, this is still not the end of the year, so I do think opportunity is on the way, and your opportunity ammo is literally your long term. So, amen. You could use an IRA for a long term, but at the end of the day, too, make sure you're paying yourself 10% off top. That's what you got to do. Your girl trying to sell her house, any advice? Don't list it too high. Don't list it too low. Kind of like the bond auction. Like the bond auction today, it wasn't that bad, but they listed it too low and nobody showed up still. That's what happened. So that's what's been happening to people in real estate. They're listing really low and nobody's showing up. It's not like it was back in the day. And then vice versa. They're listing too high and then it's just a joke. So just list it appropriately depending on if she wants a quick sale. And yeah, I mean, it's like a good and a bad time right now. Still summer months, getting into it. People want to shop for homes, but I would definitely, she really needs to move or sell it and get that on market before like September, October. 30 days until the peach. Oh, don't get banned. No, I'm kidding. Well, I don't think you will, but yeah, amen. Amen. The long term is forever. You got the crib? Oh, welcome, my friend. Welcome. It's a new journey. And then your net worth technically just skyrocketed. So I'm proud of you. It's good, man. Big banks in other countries, they're buying. It's just not. Again, the problem today wasn't that they didn't show up. They showed up in the same way they have. It was just that the bonds were already getting sold off majorly ahead, and then it held it. But same people buying. I mean, I showed you guys the other day. You know, this is the weird part. You don't remember? I showed you guys this last week or beginning of this week. Hold on, I think I still have the chart. Where is it? So many screenshots. Yeah, I just showed you this. You remember? And I was saying ironic, like Japan. This is all on the Treasury website too. You guys know that? So anybody telling you like, oh, they're not buying the bonds, you could go on the Treasury website and you could see who holds what. So Japan owns all of our shit, but then the United Kingdom, that's what I was telling you a couple days ago, ironically enough, they became a bigger buyer and holder of treasuries than China. And then don't you think it's funny the Cayman Islands buys a shit ton of bonds? So there's just a bunch of shadow money hiding out in the Caymans, and then they're just buying treasuries. I think that's so funny. But yeah. Ta-da. Oh, FINRA. Oh, who are you? Said Cayman Islands? Said thanks, Josh. Good. I hope you like the Zen music. We've done this a lot. I like MRK. That one's another one of those major companies. I honestly think if you want healthcare or biotechs, this is a good place to start. Top 10 right here. So screenshot this if you would like. This is, like I said, these are healthcare companies. These are the top ones. You could see, say, just basic info. And you could even compare them. Like I'm telling you right now, UNH is literally the cheapest for what they are offering. Nobody makes that much cash at a fucking 12 times price to earnings right now. But then again, nobody else is getting investigated for fraud in Medicare. Ta-da! But yeah. So you have that screenshotted? I hope you do. Here's the next one. Here are the biotech companies. So now here are the top biotechs. You already own two of them, AbbVie and Pfizer. But this is a great place to start, any of these names. These are top 10. So literally they employ, some of them, hundreds of thousands of Americans. Like, this is all big money, all blue chip to a degree. So yeah. Ta-da! Yeah, and like I said, go look at the right. If you screenshot it, you could compare it. So look at Merck. Merck does good sales. Their ratios are lower, and their margins are still pretty good. But you could kind of see where they stack up. And then Eli Lilly is the overpriced one. 45 times earnings. That's crazy still. But that's all I was saying. Pfizer, bro. Pfizer has a margin with the best of them, and it's still at 7, bro. So yeah, about all of them. Huge divvy, but they are paying out more than they make. So their payout ratio is over 100, so they're on danger watch. So yeah, these are biotechs. The other one was healthcare. So that's why they're different. Do you guys understand? Like, one of them is like health services, healthcare, and one is like the drug. So they're both, biotechs are the ones going down, so is healthcare, but both of them, that's it. But I showed it earlier today. I don't know if I saved it. I did. I think this is for healthcare. This is what I don't like about it, though. You have to realize that all these names are cheap because their expected future growth is really bad. So that's what these prices are implying. Like, people are not, they're not expecting the industry to go up, you know, this for the next 2 years. So it's expected to really kind of slow down. That's why I'm saying, too, if you want to buy something today and you're like, yeah, I want to buy it, it's a good price, keep in mind, you know, this whole industry is it's going to be slower. At least that is the going expectation. So I don't know what it is. I don't know if things are already just up so much, inflation, RFK, I have no idea. But that is one part of it. So, yeah. Long term is great. So yeah, other than that, I like them. I'm shopping, but make no mistake, you guys. We don't have to buy a healthcare or a biotech. So I'm just looking. I'm taking the info, but I don't think anything there the only thing attractive is UNH, but then you're like, yeah, she's getting investigated for fucking murder. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, that's it. Like, that, it would be like meeting your dream girl, and you're like, what's the catch? She has a court case next week, and she's facing 25 to life. That's the catch. She's a sweet girl, and she seems really, really nice, but I don't know how that happened, but she's facing 25 to life. So besides that, she's hot and I'm sure she's sweet, if she's innocent, then my goodness, you just, amen. But if not, I'm not. That's on you, bro. So yeah, so we don't have to buy a healthcare or biotech. There's an opportunity. I would be pained if I didn't look, but other than that, yeah, we'll see. She says she was set up. Oh no. All right, man. Any final questions? I'm gonna go fucking peacefully skip my ass home. I'm gonna just go eat, relax, pray. So otherwise, if you ain't got nothing else. Anybody? No? Okay. Well, rest then, baby. You guys have a good one. Enjoy your evening. You're ready, bro. But patience, time, and remember, God is not bound by time. So tonight, bro, when you pray, don't ask God for a good day tomorrow. You know that? Don't ask him for a good weekend. Don't ask him to bless your year. You pray tonight. You say, God, you're in tomorrow. My Lord, you already know what tomorrow brings. Bring tomorrow to me. That's it. Say, you already know what this year is. You're already living in this year right now, Lord. You know what day 365 looks like. So give me what I need to get to that day 365. You're already in that moment. Oh, yeah. And I pray, bro. I pray for the past. That all the souls you thought were lost, I hope you reached them right before, because you could go back in time. Oh, yeah. We're bound to time. He's not. So sleep well, Chad. Have a wonderful evening. And bells.